And thank you guys for subscribing to the channel, being part of our conversation here. And we're humbled and blessed that you guys join us every day. Really, really means the world to us. So thank you guys so much. And yes, we just hit, we're almost at 2.1 million subscribers on YouTube now. And Rumble, I think, have we hit 400,000 yet? Oh, we're at 370,000 on Rumble.
Getting there.
So on Rumble, if you'd like to follow us over there, you can do that as well. A free speech platform, which is Rumble. More YouTube channels have been shut down recently, and they're continuing on their quest to ban different channels and things and silence voices. And so
here we are right now, guys.
Fightback says, "Hey, Clayton, invite Roseanne on the show." I'd love to have Roseanne on the show. Yeah, we'll work on that. I'll see if we can do that here in the next couple of weeks. That'd be great.
Really?
I would love to. Are you kidding me? I would love to have Roseanne on the show.
I would too.
I interviewed her years ago on when I was on Fox and Friends years ago, but it's been many, many moons.
I would have to apologize for, falling for the Russiagate stuff, because that's why I stopped watching her show, because she was making fun of Russiagate on the reboot of the Roseanne show. And I was like, Russiagate's real. Don't make fun.
You did?
Yeah. There was a part on the show where it was about, like, her sister Jackie was a Democrat and they were Trump voters. And Jackie came over for dinner because they were trying to, like, have a family discussion and like bridge the gap. And Jackie brought Russian dressing as a joke, like, as real Russiagate. Like, I just thought, I was like, you shouldn't make fun. Russiagate's real. Yeah. I fell for that. I fell for that hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know you fell for it on the Roseanne show. I don't know.
Oh, well, because I was like, I literally fell for Russiagate, like I said, like a fool. And because it was part of the show and they were poking fun, I thought that was dangerous. I know, I'm admitting to you guys, I was an idiot. Because I swallowed it whole. And it gave me indigestion.
And she's very, very funny. As Andrew Richardson says, Roseanne is so funny. Yes, she is. Nicole says Roseanne has a lot of great insight. She does. I mean, she was talking to Piers Morgan. She's like, yeah, my family was killed by these people. And he's like, that's your opinion. It's like, no, it's not my opinion. They were killed by these people. Piers Morgan. Anyway.
All right. Well, Facebook is censoring you. I know. You're so shocked.
Yeah.
We've known this, but now we have further proof after Representative Jim Jordan published what he called the Facebook Files Part 1. It does seem like this was not an official release from anyone. He took it upon himself. I appreciate it. They show how unequivocally the White House has been demanding that Facebook censor speech around the COVID vaccine, up to the point of satire. Even these documents come from from the House, not the White House, from the House Judiciary Committee, which has been investigating the Biden administration's improper efforts to censor American speech on social media. It should be noted, Facebook did not want to hand this over. They fought tooth and nail. They only did so after the committee threatened to hold Mark Zuckerberg in contempt. We're going to go over this in a minute, but remember that Facebook has been fairly silent since Twitter has started to release the Twitter files showing how much the government has demanded online censorship. Google, still silent, but we got to think their day is coming too. If Jim Jordan's ready to do this, certainly he has information from Google to show us what we've all been through, if you're watching us on YouTube. A lot of this we know already from the attorneys general lawsuit from Missouri and Louisiana. This is the case where the federal judge, Terry Doughty, ruled that the government has to stop doing this. So what we're about to see, they are not supposed to do anymore. This is the judge. Remember, this happened on the 4th of July. The Justice Department keeps trying to appeal it, say, let us censor more. We like it. Just appeal that ruling. Judge Doughty says no. So right now, they're not supposed to do it. We'll see. We'll talk about that more. Now, here are the documents that came from the House Judiciary Committee, which has been investigating, again, the Biden administration's improper efforts to censor American speech on social media. Here's the title to these the Facebook files. He calls it a smoking gun. He says it proves that Facebook has been censoring Americans because of the Biden White House. He says never before released internal documents subpoenaed by the Judiciary Committee prove that Facebook and Instagram has censored posts because of unconstitutional pressure from the Biden White House. Now, the emails show that Facebook executives were less, this is my judgment, you're free to agree with me, but I feel like these show that Facebook had more adults in the room than Twitter did. If we're comparing, because we have studied these at length. Facebook at least took a beat and said, this seems kind of wrong. Maybe they shouldn't ask us for this. With the Twitter files, when the government said jump, Twitter said how high. Facebook at least seemed a little uncomfortable with the order to jump. Here is from an email internally saying, we're facing continued pressure from external stakeholders, including the White House and the press, to remove more COVID vaccine discouraging content. They did eventually jump, but at least we know they said, this is kind of not right. They should not be asking us for this. The government felt comfortable enough that when Facebook did take these pauses, they got pissed off, good and pissed off. Here's an email from April 2021 where Nick Clegg, he's Facebook's president for global affairs, he informed the team that Andy Slavitt, a senior advisor to President Biden, was outraged. Take a look. He says, outraged is not too strong a word to describe his reaction. So basically, he dressed him down that we didn't remove a post, which they said was the third most highly ranked post in the data set that we sent him. Now, this we sent him, they asked for information and Facebook gave it over. So at least we already know they're cooperating. And then they get excoriated for it. Now, what was the post they wanted so badly? This Leonardo DiCaprio meme, which comes from, what was this movie? Do you remember? The one with the flamethrower?
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Thank you. That one.
Yeah. Great movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it motivated Clayton to get a flamethrower, but it's a weed flamethrower.
I use it when I make a fire in the fireplace.
Yeah.
I literally have the flamethrower when I put the wood in and I don't mess around with matches. I pull the flamethrower out but
it's made for weeds.
But it's amazing because it's like shoots a flame out and I like burn my fire. I'm like, and you want a fire?
Is there not a video of that?
You want a fire? I love that thing.
Every time he does that, I think of this movie. Anyway, this is the meme that we, like comparing this to what he says is comparing it to asbestos. Now, Clegg pushes back and says that, hey, yeah, we know you don't like this, but maybe this could be considered a First Amendment violation, which is exactly what it is. Didn't mean to scream at you right there. Sorry if that came loud through your speakers. That's why Judge Doughty is telling them to stop it, because it is a First Amendment violation. They did it anyway. And you can see by this screen here, they didn't really want to. Says, Andy's challenge feels like a crossroads for us with the White House these days. They know they're on a slippery slope and that they can't climb back up once they go down this slope. Even after this email, they send this sort of group email like saying, can we regroup this? Like, are we able to take the reins back once we've gone through the looking glass? Right? They know they can't. So what do? They offer up Tucker Carlson as a sacrificial lamb to see if they'll be happy with that. Even though this internal document shows, Tucker Carlson, he didn't do anything wrong. But if we start censoring him, maybe that gets the monkey off our back. Is that the expression? Get the monkey off my back?
Monkey off your back. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So that's when President Biden started to say online very publicly that social media was killing people by allowing this vaccine hesitancy. We now know that the science does not support that. And we now know they had no science at the time to support saying that either. But Facebook took this to the bank, and leadership even scheduled a meeting to brainstorm some additional policy levers so that we can be more aggressive against COVID vaccine misinformation. Now, recall at the time, people were being punished online for even saying that the vaccine didn't prevent the spread. That turned out to be true. Separately, Facebook was also pressured to do this by the Surgeon General. We know now that these policies were not based on science because pharma never tested the severity of transmission. They only tested contraction rates. We know that now from the clinical trials that we've seen so far. So they had no basis for saying this was like costing lives or what did killing people. We know that they didn't have the scientific basis. They just used it. But they felt comfortable controlling the narrative and infringing on your right to question or even joke about this. So no wonder Facebook withheld these documents until they absolutely could not any longer, until the committee threatened to hold Mark Zuckerberg in contempt. Again, it's worth reminding they're not supposed to do this anymore. Do you believe that? Do you feel safe? Even now, after all the punishment that we have endured on this show, I don't feel completely safe talking about this stuff now. We're trying. We think it's important, and we think we can't. I just really feel like we continue to see this, and we have to continue to see this. I saw a response to this, like, okay, here, the Facebook files and Jim Jordan's thread. Someone said, okay, we'll just get angry about this. Angry tweets, check. Something done about it, 0. I don't know exactly what needs to be done about it. We now have a court order that it shouldn't be done anymore. But we cannot fall asleep on this. We need to be reminded how many people have been doing this, felt comfortable doing this, and are appealing to be able to keep doing this. So let me know what you think of this in the chat. I find it outrageous, and I am ready, Google, to hear what you got. I'm ready. I've been ready.
Well, so what you're saying is that Mark Zuckerberg lied.
Did I say that?
Well, if you're going to hold him in contempt for what he knew and intentionally holding,
No, because they had not produced the documents.
Right. So if they knew, did they know internally? What did he know about this?
Well, because originally they subpoenaed all kinds of information. And just a few weeks ago, they said, we're not getting what we wanted out of you. And Facebook said, look, we gave you 50,000 documents. And they said, this is not what we're asking for. Give us the goods. Yeah. And then about a week or two later, we got this. So it's not necessarily that they lied. It's that they produced a
selective
BS round of documents until they were pushed.
Didn't Zuckerberg allude on the Joe Rogan podcast that the FBI was manipulating things and asking them for things, and he kind of said, what are you going to do? Like he said
that about Hunter Biden. He's at the laptop. Yeah. He said the FBI asked us to bury that story. Yes, that is absolutely what he said.
It's it's this string of censorship by the tolerant left. Right, this idea that you want to censor RFK Jr. when he's in front of in a censorship hearing. You want to censor speech you don't like from Tucker Carlson, demote posts from people that may not have your politics, be on the same page with politics. Anti-Hillary Clinton posts, take those down. That's who's running these things. So is it any wonder that people are so fed up, not only with social media but with mainstream media, because they all work in lockstep together? Yeah.
I'm still mad as snakes about it. I still find it absolutely something we should demand stops happening.
Jim Jordan, I mean, honestly, God bless the guy. There's only like a few people that are fighting this fight. And when he takes on this battle, people roll their eyes. They're like, yes, no, that's not what we're not going to deal with this. And then you hear the Democrats on these committees and they just like roll their eyes.
Oh, yeah. AOC literally said, we got other things to do.
Yeah. And she's the one that said deplatforming is great. We need to deplatform people.
We can't really be listening to this.
Debbie Wasserman Schultz, you saw her with RFK. Like, she was just like, shut up. No, shut up. Like, she did not want him to talk. And it's like, they just do not like free speech for some reason. Because that's all Jim Jordan is trying to get at the bottom of. And it's like, everybody should support this.
Yeah, and as RFK Jr. said, what you're doing is you're supporting speech you don't like, right? That's the point. You're allowing speech you don't like. That's why we have this. It's not for the speech that you love to hear. It's the stuff that you disagree with. It's the stuff that may make your hairs on the back of your neck stand up. Like, oh, I can't stand that woman talking, but you know what? It's her right. It's her right to talk.
Right.
It's her right to make a post. And it's your right to ignore it and not want to see that person or not follow that person on social media. But to have a company working in coordination with an administration to censor posts and downrank posts that they don't like is beyond the pale. I mean,
and again, now that we know what the federal government knew about the science behind the COVID vaccine and how thin it was, when we're talking now July 2021. When we were punished for talking about the spread and how the vaccine did not seem to have an effect on transmission rates, And so now we realize that without that scientific background, they were simply doing the bidding of Big Pharma. Why?
Yeah.
That's the looming question that no one will ask anyone in the Biden administration. Given that you know what you know now and you didn't have science back then, why give pharma the benefit of the doubt and not American citizens who want to ask questions? So let us know what you think of that interpretation, what you intend to do about it, if anything.
Has anybody seen Science lately? He seems to have disappeared from the limelight.
Well, science could be in trouble. Fauci, science himself, human walking science. If Rand Paul gets his way and brings him before criminal, he suggested criminal proceedings for him. So we'll see for lying before Congress. We'll see if anything comes of it. They have to go. You can recommend it. I don't know if they can do anything about it, but we'll see.
I've been reading this book that I picked up today called Pharmacracy, and it's about this idea that like disease is no longer just something scientific. It's something that's like, it results in behaviors. Like a behavior can't be a disease, a behavior can contribute to a disease, but this idea that like diseases are nebulous, they are, related to like feelings and symptoms and behaviors. If we latch on to that, then we give politicians and pharmaceutical companies more power because it's just like, oh, well, I feel like I have a mental health disorder, right? Like your brain is either diseased or it's not. It's not. And so we continue to sort of expand this idea that like words are violence. They will hurt me and that will have an effect on my health in a way that's not pathology. And if we believe that, like you can't say that I'm overweight, it might hurt my feelings, and I have a disease, which is obesity or mental health disorder. And because of that, if I have a hurt feeling, then, this is the way that politicians continue to tell us that we can't say words that they don't like, and they grab power from this. It's a really interesting concept. I'm only 20% into the book. It's dense, but
all of these microaggressions, that that are hurting all of these little snowflakes.
Right. What were you saying, David?
Disease. They're being diseased.
I was going to say, like, when it starts, it has to go to the weakest among us. So the person that is offended by the littlest, tiniest thing has to be the starting point of this, because no one can have their feelings hurt in this world.
Right. Yeah. And so this idea, like there's disease, right, that happens at the cellular level, and then there's discomfort, which are different things. And if we sort of conflate them, like that, no one's saying that like not having good mental health is comfortable, right? But we cannot sort of use it as a way to transfer power to people who say, well, you're hurting that person's feelings, so then you need to be stripped of your words and your rights. This is a very dangerous thing. And it's handing power to politicians and pharmaceutical companies. And we see it happening right before our very eyes. And, you can't accept that if you just sort of jettison the idea of disease as a cellular pathology. So I can get you the title of that book if you want, if you're interested.
Yeah.
Another thing that's kind of frustrating is like, so you have Democrats that are really pushing for all of this stuff, but yet they're anti, like, corporations need to pay their fair share, but who's not paying their fair share in any of this is pharmaceutical companies. So it's like they're doing their bidding, they're doing the work for them, they're out there promoting this stuff, making the pharmaceutical industry billions of dollars, while on the other hand being anti-corporation and demanding that the big companies pay their fair share.
All right, the name of the book is Pharmacracy, Medicine and Politics in America by Thomas Szaszz, S-Z-A-S-Z. Really, really interesting book, dense. But did you know the word clinical comes from the Greek word bed, because it was just like a physician teaching his students something about a patient in a bed. It just literally means like standing near the bed.
I didn't.
Yeah.
Drav Guitao says in our chat, Redacted is really terrified of Gen Z because Gen Z will actually burn things to the ground. Drav Guitao. How do you know that we're... Am I terrified? How do you know that? I don't know that. By the way, what is Gen Z? I always get the...
Isn't that us?
No, we are... we're...
we're Generation
Gen X?
We're
Gen X. Yeah.
Sorry.
I was born in 1976. You were
I'm
born.
so young, I just forget sometimes.
Yeah. You were born in what, 62?
Yes.
It's all that Genucell you use. And makes you look so young. Yeah, no, I don't even know what that is. They're really terrified of Gen Z. When is Gen Z? Philip, you always know these things.
That would be, so millennials are like 1980 to, I can't remember the exact cutoff for that, but Gen Z is like Adelaide, your kids are Gen Z.
Are they?
I can't remember the exact cutoff.
14, 15-year-olds?
2005 and on or
Yeah,
something
up to
like
18.
that. Okay.
I'm not terrified of that at all. I hope they do. Really curious what they burn to the ground, though. If they burn down this like unipolar bullshit, then that would be great. Good for them.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah, they're 97 to 2012. That's Gen Z.
But if Gen Z are a bunch of idiots and they're like, yeah, I love crypto and I love moving to cashless society, and yes, I want lab grown meat, and I want I want the convenience of that, and I want to be injected with all of these things. I want to be able to scan my hand to go to the movie theater and not have to bring my wallet anymore, and just inject me with a little microchip. Then I'll have a problem with Gen Z. But we'll see. Well, we'll see how it goes, I guess.
I feel like Gen Z is only the way it is because of the manipulation from Gen X. So it's like once you get Gen X not manipulating Gen Z anymore, I think that they have a tendency to be more like Gen Zers. To me, they're in an internet age. Like they've had phones and internet since they were born, so they look things up and they're a little like not all of them, of course. It's like that's generalizing, but I just feel like they're more open to information than I think we can be. I'm Gen X too.
I saw this weekend, a friend of mine showed me, in Vancouver, they're holding there's a gay pride parade for pets.
Oh yeah.
Like this is what's come to now. Like this is, I mean, you can burn that down. Like we're going to have a gay pride parade for your pets. Like you can get rid of that shit. Please do that.
That's like people.
I mean, do whatever. I don't have time for that.
What's that?
Like people saying their pets are vegetarians. You ever see that? Like people feed their pets vegetables, and it's like really not good for them. And this lady is like, I want to show you that my pet prefers vegetables, so she lays vegetables and like meat down, and the dog goes right for the meat, and she's like, no.
Oh, yeah. Pamela Anderson also has vegan dogs. That's a big part of her
so
biography.
not good for the dog.
Well,
canine.
Yeah.
I mean, literally the tooth is named after them for,
Yeah.
Right, isn't it? Or am I wrong about that? The canine?
I don't know anything about dog nutrition, except what we...
Dog. I was talking about teeth. I was talking about, teeth.
Yeah, canine teeth.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm not prepared to ring in to be an expert on nutrition for animals.
Well, you should read a book on it.
Okay.
Should read a book on that.
Yeah, Jennifer, my roommate, is a pet specialist, and she told me that. So
okay, all right.
Well, that's going to do it for our show. Hey, I should mention, you guys, please join our community. We've got a great community here. If you want to become a Redacted Rebel VIP, all you need to do is go to redacted.inc. It's not .com. And then click on the right side of your screen there, and you can become a Redacted Rebel. And for the price of a cup of coffee once a month, you can support our community. You can get access to exclusive content, early interviews, live streams, and other things. And we keep saying this is going to happen here. Maybe once the summer wraps up, Natalie's going to launch her book club on there. So yeah. Okay. So you'll have the Redacted Rebel book club with Natalie.
But I'm going to give tests.
She'll give
hard
tests,
ones.
and there'll be tough books, but you're all smart people, so you can join up.
Would there be awards like stickers and stuff?
Essays only.
Yes, full essays.
This is why I have no friends.
Well, yeah, exactly. Go to redacted.inc is the place to go. Redacted.inc, and if you're on Rumble right there, you can click that big red join button, and you can join our locals community there. Rumble makes it really, really easy. But if you're on YouTube, just come on over to the website, redacted.inc. Become a rebel, join the rebellion, just like Carolyn today, the lovely lady from Sweden who I had a chance to meet. We had a great conversation, and she just said, oh my gosh, I just hope people wake up. I just hope people wake up. And I said, me too. Thank you for doing what you do. I'm like, never stop talking, Carolyn. Please tell your friends, go out there and be the voice of reason. So great lady, great lady. Anyway, much love to all of you guys. Have a great night. We'll see you back here tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern time. That's when we're live. So make sure you turn on that bell notification so you get a little notification when we go live. We'll see you tomorrow, everyone. Bye now. Thank you so much for watching this segment here at Redacted. We are live every day at 4 p.m. Eastern time, trying to share the stories that the mainstream media will not cover. You should also come over and join our community of Redacted Rebels over at redacted.inc. That's our private locals community where we can share exclusive content that we simply cannot share here on YouTube. Come over and join the rebellion together right now by going to redacted.inc. We'll see you next time.